Yo, what is up, guys? It's Bankrupt Dope, back again with another video, and today we are back on some Chaos Zero Nightmare. Now, look, today gonna be a simple one, right? Question is, should you summon 4 Tiphera? And it's as simple as that, right? We can go ahead and answer. Before we do that, hope you're having a good day. If you're having a good day, hope your day gets better. You already know the drill. Now, look, so the background gameplay, right? I'll go back to watch me go through the basing, right? And y'all gonna see me, use Tiphera. And yeah, y'all gonna see me use Tiphera along with my 9, right? So I think the answer is very, very simple. I'm gonna be honest. I think the answer for most characters is very simple, and it's interesting because I'm always watching, WG stream and people in chat. I'll never understand why people do it because I feel like to some degree y'all know it's annoying, but people love to just spam the guy with questions that you can simply answer yourself. I mean, this is streamers across the board, right? This is just what comes to territory, right? But like people just love to say, should I summon? Should I summon? Should I summon? I'm like, bro, why do you keep asking that? You know if you should summon. Well, we're gonna go ahead and break it down for you real quick in this one, right? So, Tiphera, she is a support type character, she's a controller, and she is of the green color, which is orc. So, she's a controller, and she directly buffs 9. 9 in Haru, or who she buffs. She buffs big hitters, right? Because she has an attack card, or she not attack card, she has an archetype card. She has 3 different cards. She has one that can heal and give AP. She has one that can heal and draw another archetype card. Yeah, draw one her another card, and then she also has a damage card that boosts your damage by 30%. And each card activation up to 300%. So yeah, each one gives you 30% all the way up to a 300%, and it gives you a shield, right? And with that card, it only works for your first attack, right? So generally the build is, you spam that card, keep stacking up your attack, and then you hit the enemy really hard. That's essentially what you're doing with it, right? And it only works on your first hit. So like the multi-hitters and stuff like that, you don't really benefit. So like the Chizuru isn't going to be able to benefit from that. But you know who could benefit from something like that? A Kron, for example, because Tiphera also has cards that can exhaust his cards. So you can use her cards to exhaust some of his cards, and then you keep using her single attack card to boost up his black hole. But the thing is, you have to do that. That one's a little bit harder because Kron has to use other cards to make his black hole stronger, if that makes sense, right? So you have to waste an attack to even get the black hole strong enough to then stack the extra 300% on if you're trying to do that. So it's a lot of little holes to jump into or hoops to jump through if you're trying to do a black hole build in particular with her. But she's just good for exhaustion cards in general. And so you have to play a little bit differently versus just to do the black hole strat, because the black hole strat does come a little bit more difficult since you can't, because every time you activate an attack card, you would be wasting her card. So you can't just every turn use an attack buff card. For example, with 9, you do not have to attack with 9. You can just keep passing and stacking up. You know what I'm saying? And then you just play with you, and then you slam down and it hurts. So yeah, anybody that does one attack, she's the best one. Simple as that, right? Nothing more, nothing less. One attack, because her card is only boosting one attack. So there you go. So if you have a 9, and you can say Haru, like I said, Haru and Karun are part of the conversation to some degree, but like you're probably not going to be using 9, or you're not going to be using Tiphera with them if you have 9. We're just going to be so dead serious. So you have 9, you're probably using it with 9, and that's really her best friend. They work really, really well together, right? And I noticed that even in my gameplay, like I have what do you call it, Naruto on the team, and honestly, now that I'm looking at it, like I'm probably gonna move Naruto to the other team because I don't need both of these people on the same team, right? It doesn't really work. Yes, Naruto is giving a damage buff, but the damage buff is all she's giving because the shields and healing you're getting from 9 and Tiphera. You know what I'm saying? So it's all it's kind of counterproductive. I mean, you get a little bit of a damage boost, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm moving to another. So yeah, if you have a 9, go ahead and get you a Tiphera. I think it'll work really well. It'll give you extra damage boost. It's nice. She's like the Ray for the team. You know how Ray's on the team, it just gives you a damage boost? Kind of what 9 is. That's kind of what Tiphera is for 9, right? It's her Ray. That way you can use your Ray for your other team, right? You can use Ray on the other team, you can throw a Naruto, and then you have your DPS. Or however you want to do it, right? So, that's out the way. If you have 9, you're probably going to go ahead and pull Tiphera. If you do not have 9, should you pull Tiphera? I'm gonna say no, right? Because to get her full effect, you really do want somebody like I said, you really want somebody like 9 on the team. The reason I'm starting because remembering the names gets to you after a while, saying all the names. Now, are there gonna be other big hitters dropping in this game? Surely. So if you want a support that can buff a big hit and you do not have Orlea on your account, then sure, go ahead and just wait. You can just simply wait. And or you can wait off an Orlea and grab your Tiphera and just do it like that. Or you can skip the Tiphera and you use your selector to go grab an Orlea. Or you can skip altogether and just try to get Orlea or Tiphera off the standard banner after the banner release, right? It puts it like this: there is no true rush to grabbing Tiphera if 1, you do not have a 9, 2, you do not have an Orlea, or you do have an Orlea. If you have an Orlea and you do not have a 9, you don't really need to rush this character because it's not really going to change your account that much. That's what it feels like for a lot of characters, I'm going to be honest so far, which is to some degree good, right? Because you don't need some of them. You just don't. Now, if you are a collector, you're going to pick her up, right? If you're a collector, you're getting the character anyway. It doesn't really matter what I say. You're getting the character anyway. I am a collector. I am getting every character whether I like the character or not. That's what happened with Naruto. Like, to some degree, I really didn't want Naruto, but I was like, do I want to miss a character or do I want to grab everybody? And the game gives you so many pools, and I've been very fortunate in my summons. I'm just gonna keep collecting as they come through. I'm just gonna keep going until I can't anymore. Simple as that, right? And also, if you're a spender and you want to E6 everybody or M6 everybody, go for that. ME, if you want to just max everybody out, go for it. If you spend to get the characters, go for it. Should you spend money in gacha games? No. If that's what you do it. If you're gonna get characters anyway, do it. But if you're free to play, you're conservative, a very particular play style, you do not have any big hitters in your account, and you already have Orlea, you don't need 9. Simple as that. I mean 9. I'm sorry. You don't need Tiphera. Simple as that. And also, you can go ahead and wait until the 3rd character gets dropped, and you figure out what is the 3rd character doing, and that will also determine do you need 9 or do you need Tiphera. It could be possible that Tiphera also buffs her. So maybe that's the 3rd slot over Naruto, because I said Naruto's not really doing much for the team on my team personally. She's giving you the damage buff, but it's like that's it. So low key, you could probably end up switching out the Naruto for this new character that's gonna drop. We don't know yet. We'll figure out soon. So yeah, that's it for team building reasons to pull her. Now we're gonna move on to just content in the game. So to be honest, if you're already clearing everything in the game consistently, meaning like you can do the 3 bosses, right? Currently there's 2. There's the robot and then there's the little, like, I don't even know how to describe the other thing. There's the 2 bosses. You guys know what I'm talking about in inside the Great Rift, right? Or not the Great Rift, but inside the Chaos, like the seasonal Chaos thing. There's 2 bosses. If you can beat those bosses on stage 6, you are good. You have cleared the content. If you can do that already, you do not need to summon. Right? You don't need to pick up this character to do the content because you've already beat it. If you can beat the basin of hyperspace, which we're doing right now, you can see in the background. If you can complete the basin of hyperspace completely, you do not need to pull the character. And I'm probably gonna have to end up running this with my old team to show that I don't need the 9 and all this stuff to beat it, but I just chose to do it anyway. But yeah, if you can beat the hyperspace without Tiphera, you probably don't need it. Those 2 are our main forms of our end game. Then we have the tower. We probably will not be getting the next set of tower until after the season. I'm just telling you that now. I could be wrong, but that's my assumption. I'll go into that later. Or into a different video. I'll go into that. But yes, if you can clear the tower now, confidently. Granted, the tower is kind of like a multi-team thing. It's kind of like, hey, look, you try multiple teams in here, but to be honest, you really want a Vanguard. So hopefully you picked up 9. But if you didn't, you probably figured out a workaround anyway. And if you have exhausted all your possible things that you can do, you grinded your decks and none of your decks are working, you cannot clear the tower, then you start summoning. But then again, this isn't even for Tiphera. This would have been for 9. If you missed that block, it's not really worth it to pull just on Tiphera just to get her. Yes, she's giving a damage boost, but don't know if that's going to help you beat tower in particular. But my point is, if you are already clearing all the in-game content, chaos does not count. Chaos is simply a means to end. Chaos is not in game. I need people to stop putting so much stock in chaos. Chaos is literally just a time waster to build your deck. It is not in-game content. You should not be making your account around chaos. It's irrelevant because chaos is always random. Chaos, you always start with nothing. So it's always generally the weakest version of your character. So don't pull for chaos characters. For chaos, you pull for things, everything else. That's it. You pull for the chaos bosses. You pull for not even really even the Great Rift. I mean, sure, there's a little bit of like what do you call it? Currency in there, but the most currency you can currently get any event at a time is through the 3 head bosses and through the basin. The basin gives you 1,000, and then you get 2 of them within a season. So you get 2,000. Or is it 3 of them? I have to check that. But if it's only 2, I think it's 2. If it's 2, you get 2,000. If it's 3, you get 3,000 within a season. That's a lot. That's near 2 multi, right? Versus the heads, you get 560, I believe, per boss. And we're talking about premium currency. So we're not talking about the page 6 through 9. That's irrelevant. We're talking about premium currency in game for somebody who's just trying to. We're talking about the in-game rotation in terms of actual currency. So, like I'm saying, you beat the heads, you get 560, 560, 560. So you get like 1,500, around 1,500 something. So you get more than the basin, assuming that or you get a decent amount in the heads compared to the basin. So you get 15 there versus the 2,000 you get from the basin through 2 basins, right? So that's our large chunk of crystals. And then obviously you do get some out of the Great Rift. You get weekly rewards that are cumulative, but then you also have a peak of 500,000 for 160. The 160 is not worth you summoning a character to reach it. Do you get what I'm saying? You should not be saying, I'm going to summon so I can place in a Great Rift so I can get 160 crystals, especially as a free-to-play. It is not worth it. You do not need to do that, okay? The only time you should truly be summoning is if you like the character and it helps you clear in-game content that gives you a worthwhile amount of crystals. If it does not do that, and you are a free-to-play resource hoarder, you don't need to summon. Do the content first. That's the thing that people gotta think. You can do the content first. You can just watch people. Do the content first, watch people, wait for the next character release, and after you've considered all those things, then you make your decision to summon. But if you've beaten the content, you don't even care for the character, you don't summon. Simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less. But the character is the most broken thing ever, and you can't beat the content. And you can tell that it's clearing all forms of content easily. Now you can go ahead and pick up the character. Because like now it'll truly make your account do something different. It'll push your character to the next level. But if it's not pushing any agendas on your account outside of just another character, chances are you can skip it as a free play. Got it? So that is it from me. That's all I'm going to say. In the background here, you're just going to be able to watch the rest of the gameplay. It's just going to be me going through the rest of the basin. It's 7 through 10. Please, CP and devs, I need you guys to drop us to start from stage 7. I'm tired of 1 through 6 are just so whatever. Please let us start from stage 7. So please do that. Yeah, this is 7 through 10 right here. You see, this took 23 minutes on its own. So to do the other ones took I think another 40 something minutes, because it just takes time no matter how you cut it. Even when you're one-shotting, it just takes time. But yeah, that's it for me. Enjoy the background. Like I said, we just got the basing going on in the background, and you get to see a little bit what Tiphera is doing on the team. Like I said, she is making 9 significantly strong. So enjoy. Peace.
このくらいなるもんだ。想像の力よ。これは痛むぜ。急げ。もっと早く。好きにあがいてみな。準備は終わった。戦う準備はでき。急げ。のけ。一瞬で潰してあげる。エランテの力お見せしますわ。何をすればいいの？私に力を貸して。艦長、 さすがです。心配いりません。想像の力よ。このくらいなら問題。心配いりません。はあ、このくらいなら問題ありません。私はこんなこともできます。心配いりません。このくらいなら想像の力よ。心配いりません。戦う準備まだ足りない。準備は終わった。急げ。これは痛むぞ。このくらいなら問題あり。想像の力よ。準備は終わった。これは痛むぞ。心配いりません。このくらいなら問題ありません。想像の力よ。心配いりません。このくらいなら問題ありません。心配。想像の力よ。想像の力よ。急げ。これは痛むぞ。このくらいなら問題。ぜひ味わってみてください。準備は終わった。好きにあがいてみな。狙います。殲滅。方向下流よ燃え上がれ。撃ちましょう。下流よ燃え上がれ。来ましたね。急速チャージシステム。コバルトウィ。殲滅。殲滅。準備はできております。あの動きは待機中です。来ましたね。大きいのが来る。狙います。コバルトウィング待機中。狙います。殲滅。どんな敵でも徹底的に排除いたします。昇竜脚。殲滅。撃ちましょうか。待機中です。援護します。コバルトウィング殲滅。殲滅。殲滅。殲滅。狙います。殲滅。殲滅。コバルトウィング待機中。ターゲットロック。コバルトライト。昇竜脚。ヘッドシフト。撃ちましょうか。来ましたね。殲滅。殲滅。狙います。殲滅。殲滅。方向座攻撃と防御を紙一重。準備はできた。てや。コバルトウィング待機中。待機中です。来ましたね。狙います。殲滅。殲滅。撃ちましょうか。方向族の武術お見せ。コバルトウィング対象を集中攻撃します。昇竜脚。発射。大当たりです。待機中です。準備はできております。準備完了でございます。撃ちましょうか。待機中です。狙います。撃ちましょうか。ご命令を。殲滅。コバルトウィング待機中。殲滅。命中。昇竜脚。狙います。コバルトウィング待機中。殲滅。狙います。殲滅。殲滅。昇竜脚。ヘッド。コバルトウィング待機中。殲滅。狙います。殲滅。昇竜脚。発射。殲滅。 長、要員管理中ですか？何かお手伝いできることはありますか？待機してた。何？後悔はしないはずだ。助けが必要ならいつでも呼んでください。私に会いに来てくださったのですか？嬉しいでございます。重機の手入れは繊細に。